The Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. The apex body of engineering professionals in Sri Lanka. Code of Ethics. Clause 1. Engineers shall hold paramount the health, safety, and welfare of the public and proper utilization of the funds and other resources in the performance of their professional duties. It shall take precedence over their responsibility to the profession, sectoral or private interests, employers, or to other engineers. Clause 2. Engineers shall always act in such a manner as to uphold and enhance the honor, integrity, and dignity of the profession while safeguarding public interest at all times. Clause 3. Engineers shall be committed to the need for sustainable management of the planet's resources and seek to minimize adverse environmental impacts of their engineering works or applications of technology to protect both present and future generations. Clause 4. Engineers shall build their reputation on merit and shall not compete unfairly. Clause 5. Engineers shall perform professional services only in the areas of their competence. Clause 6. Engineers shall apply their skills and knowledge in the interest of their employer or client for whom they shall act, in professional matters, as faithful agents or trustees, so far as they do not conflict with the other requirements listed here and the general public interest. Clause 7. Engineers shall give evidence, express opinions, or make statements in an objective and truthful manner. Clause 8. Engineers shall continue their professional development throughout their careers and shall actively assist and encourage engineers under their direction to advance their knowledge and experience. Detailed explanation. Clause 1. Engineers shall hold paramount the health, safety, and welfare of the public and proper utilization of the funds and other resources in the performance of their professional duties. It shall take precedence over their responsibility to the profession, sectoral or private interests, employers, or to other engineers. As the first requirement places the interests of the community above all others, engineers. Rule 1.1. Shall be objective and truthful in writing professional reports, issuing statements, or submitting testimony. They shall include all relevant and pertinent information in such reports, statements, or testimony. Rule 1.2. Shall endeavor at all times to maintain engineering services essential to public welfare. Rule 1.3. Shall work in conformity with recognized engineering standards so as not to jeopardize the health, safety, and welfare of the public. Rule 1.4. Shall not participate in assignments that would create conflict of interest between their clients/employers and the public and shall advise the client of their concerns. Rule 1.5. Shall, in the event of their judgment being overruled in matters pertaining to health, safety, and welfare of the community, inform their clients or employers of the possible consequences and bring to the clients/employers notice their obligations as professionals to inform the relevant authority. Rule 1.6. Shall contribute to public discussion on engineering matters in their areas of competence, if they consider that by so doing they can constructively advance the well-being of the community. Rule 1.7. Having knowledge of any alleged violation of this code by others shall cooperate with the proper authorities in furnishing such information or assistance as may be required. Rule 1.8. Shall not knowingly participate in any act, which will result in waste or misappropriation of public funds. Rule 1.9. Shall actively contribute to the well-being of the society and, when involved, in any engineering project or application of technology, shall, where appropriate, recognize the need to identify, inform, and consult affected parties to help resolve problems involved. Clause 2. Engineers shall always act in such a manner as to uphold and enhance the honor, integrity, and dignity of the profession while safeguarding public interest at all times. This requires that the engineering profession should endeavor by its behavior to merit the highest esteem of the community. It follows therefore, that engineers. Rule 2.1. Shall not involve themselves with any business or professional practice, which they know to be fraudulent or dishonest in nature. Rule 2.2. Shall not associate with other persons, corporations, or partnerships to conceal unethical acts. Rule 2.3. Shall not continue in partnership with, or act in professional matters with any engineer who has been removed from membership of this institution because of improper conduct. Rule 2.4. Shall promote the principle of engagement of engineers upon the basis of merit. Rule 2.5. Shall uphold the principle of adequate and appropriate remuneration for professional engineering staff in keeping with their qualifications and market price. Clause 3. Engineers shall be committed to the need for sustainable management of the planet's resources and seek to minimize adverse environmental impacts of their engineering works or applications of technology so as to protect both present and future generations. To this end, engineers. Rule 3.1 shall carefully evaluate adverse environmental impacts of their actions and incorporate practical remedial measures to minimize them. Rule 3.2 shall consider theoretical, legislative, regulatory, and policy aspects of environmental protection and sustainable management of the available resources. Rule 3.3 shall work in close cooperation with members of other professions and disciplines on achieving sustainable development. Rule 3.4 shall critically analyze how the proposed project or the application of technology relates to sustainability considerations. Rule 3.5 shall identify and assess options for material recovery and disposal. Rule 3.6 shall analyze opportunities for resource and energy conservation and design appropriately optimized systems. Clause 4. Engineers shall build their reputation on merit and shall not compete unfairly. This requirement is to ensure that engineers shall not seek to gain a benefit by improper means. It follows that engineers' Rule 4.1 shall neither pay nor offer, directly or indirectly, inducements to others. Rule 4.2 shall not attempt to supplant another engineer, employed or consulting, who has been appointed, without his consent. Rule 4.3 shall neither falsify nor misrepresent their own or others' qualifications, experience, and prior responsibilities. Rule 4.4. Shall respect others and not maliciously do anything to tarnish, directly or indirectly, the reputation, prospects or business of others. Rule 4.5. Shall not use the advantage of a privileged position to compete unfairly with other engineers. Rule 4.6. Shall exercise due restraint in explaining their own work and shall refrain from unfair criticism of the work of other engineers. Rule 4.7. Shall give proper credit for professional work to those to whom credit is due. Rule 4.8. Shall not resort to any form of plagiarism in their work. This includes use of such materials as written text, statistics, or similar data, diagrams, illustrations and photographs in reports, publications, examination answers, coursework submitted for academic or professional qualifications etc., without permission, acknowledgement, or reference, as if it is the person's own work. Rule 4.9. Shall act with due regard to intellectual property rights of others in their work. Rule 4.10. Shall not engage in unfair competition including charging of extremely high or low professional fees compared to market rates, in delivering professional services. Clause 5. Engineers shall perform professional services only in the areas of their competence. To this end, engineers. Rule 5.1. Shall undertake assignments only when qualified by education and experience in the specific technical fields involved. If an assignment requires qualifications and experience outside their fields of competence, they shall engage competent professionals with necessary qualifications and experience and keep the employers and clients informed of such arrangements. Rule 5.2. Shall not affix their signature to any designs or documents dealing with subject matter in which they lack competence, or to any plan or document not prepared under their direction or control. Clause 6. Engineers shall apply their skills and knowledge in the interest of their employer or client for whom they shall act, in professional matters, as faithful agents or trustees, so far as they do not conflict with the other requirements listed here and the general public interest. It follows that engineers. Rule 6.1. Shall at all times avoid all known or potential conflicts of interest that involve the engineer himself. They should keep their employers or clients fully informed on all matters, including financial interests, which could lead to such a conflict, and under no circumstances should they participate in any decision which could involve them in conflict of interest. Rule 6.2. Shall when acting as administrators of a contract be impartial between the parties in the interpretation of the contract. This requirement of impartiality shall not diminish the duty of engineers to apply their skill and knowledge in the interests of their employers or clients. Rule 6.3. Shall not accept compensation, financial or otherwise, from more than one party for services on the same project, unless the circumstances are fully disclosed and agreed to by all interested parties. Rule 6.4. Shall neither solicit nor accept financial or other valuable consideration, including free engineering designs, from material or equipment suppliers for specifying their products, except such designs obtained with the knowledge and consent of the employer or client. Rule 6.5. Shall neither solicit nor accept gratuities, directly or indirectly, from contractors or their agents, or other parties dealing with their clients or employers in connection with work for which they are responsible. Rule 6.6. Shall not accept a commission, fee, reward, or other benefit from a third party, while advising a client. Rule 6.7. Shall advise their clients or employers when as a result of their studies they believe that a project will not be viable. Rule 6.8. Shall neither disclose nor use confidential information gained in the course of their employment without express permission, except where public interest and safety are involved. Rule 6.9. Shall not complete, sign, or seal designs and/or specifications that are not safe to the public health and welfare and in conformity with accepted engineering standards. If the client or employer insists on such unprofessional conduct, they shall notify the proper authorities and withdraw from further service on the project. Clause 7. Engineers shall give evidence, express opinions, or make statements in an objective and truthful manner. Rule 7.1. Engineers' professional reports, statements, or testimony before any tribunal shall be objective, and such opinions shall be expressed only on the basis of adequate knowledge and technical competence in the area, but this does not preclude a considered judgment based intuitively on experience and wide relevant knowledge. Rule 7.2. Engineers shall reveal the existence of any interest, pecuniary or otherwise, that could be taken to affect their judgment in a technical matter about which they are making a statement or giving evidence. Clause 8. Engineers shall continue their professional development throughout their careers and shall actively assist and encourage engineers under their direction to advance their knowledge and experience. It follows, therefore, that engineers. Rule 8.1. Shall encourage their professional employees and subordinates to further their education, and Rule 8.2. Shall take a positive interest in and encourage their fellow engineers actively to support the institution and other bodies, which further the general interest of the profession.